there is a question that should you get a teacher for sword fighting. From my own experience at least, if you don't have anybody to teach you, you have to be a genius in order to learn this thing fast. See, the problem is that you can learn it on your own just by sparring to a certain level, but without a solid understanding of the basics, in the techniques, in the tactics, most likely you are not gonna be the next genius here, not the next Musashi. And that's why you will lose a lot of time and effort, and you have to de-learn your old stuff again and again and again, because you will be changing your techniques over and over, so while you are learning those. So if you have the possibility to find a teacher, I definitely recommend it. Now the problem is that you shouldn't have any teacher. You need to find somebody who can actually teach you what you want. So in order to understand that, you need to know what you want. And do you really know what you want? Do you want to be a sparring guy, just going to tournaments, winning tournaments, or do you want to have more like this reenactment of the old techniques, maybe, or this wider understanding of how sword fighting goes? Or do you want to learn a specific style? I know that in European arena at least, there are not so many styles yet available for longsword or sword and shield, or even for the arming sword. So might be difficult to learn a certain style. Style meaning that what techniques are being used to realize the tactics in that style. Then the third option here is to find somebody who can teach you generic sword use, so that you will understand the basics really well. And once you have that, then maybe you could make up your own style. So you don't have to pick everything there, what is available, learn everything, but you then pick and choose some certain tactics and techniques, and that will then make your own style. And the big part of a teacher job is to tell you how to practice, because if you don't know how to practice, your improvement will suffer. At least it will take a lot more time, trust me. So finding a teacher can help you also in that respect. And what I would also recommend is to look outside the European sword fighting community. One problem here is that everything is reconstructed. So to my understanding, there is, well, maybe there is one living lineage. I think it's a Hungarian saber. And of course, even the sport fencing, it's coming from small sword. But if you really want to look into 13th century old sword fighting styles, I don't think you will find anything yet there. By the way, this is one of the gatehouses, so there has been drawbridge in there, and it's like a big hole. So this is to the seaside. The sea is further out in there. So yeah, so how do you find a good teacher? Oh, that's a good one. So maybe look online. Most likely you will find it online. Somebody who is publishing videos and explaining things in the way that you can understand and relate to might be a good candidate. So that's what I did, and my teachers are actually not from Europe. They are from current teachers are from Philippines. but that has given me like a solid understanding how to use a blade or a stick. So in just a couple of years I have learned more than in 20 years of this European medieval reenactment stuff I've been doing, so it's all been on the plus side for me. So the story, by the way, is that if you don't know about Philippines, it's that it was in the Middle Ages it was a Muslim country because the Arab traders got there and conquered a lot of that place, and then later in the I think maybe it was in the maybe 14th or 15th century, the Portuguese and Spanish went there. And of course from the north you had this Chinese influence. So it's a melting pot, or has been a melting pot of different sword fighting styles. And it's full of living traditions. And some of those traditions match well in the against the Spanish military old sword styles. So probably because there was some transition, because the Spanish taught the local people how to fight their way with swords in order to fight the Muslim pirates. And that's how things merged. But the value I find there is mostly about the living traditions, because they are just one generation removed from fighting with live blades. So it's a very different martial culture. They do have the sport, but there are these old styles as well. So that's one place I recommend to look into. Of course, you have Japan, great teachers there, some of are online. And one really good place would be actually North Africa. But given the political situation, it's going to be a little bit difficult place to find a teacher. I don't know anybody there. So think about that. Yeah, you can find some good teachers also in Europe, and for sure. But I would also advise to look elsewhere.